voice memo by email. Oh, brilliant. And they put it together, and then they sent me a beautiful email back and the certification thing that you can post. I'm so happy to see what you're doing.
Okay.
Thank you, Timothy.
So yay. So I'm gonna mute you guys. Good morning, Pam. And then we're gonna just get started, okay? I'm glad we sorted that out. Nothing like pressure to add a little fun to our yoga practice this morning. Okay, I'm just sorting out the, everyone's going mute? No, mute, 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 mute. There we go, okay. So now I am doing my very best. Hi everyone on Facebook. I'm doing my best to manage these two pieces. And so I'm gonna spotlight my video for you guys so you can all see me. And then I'm gonna put gallery view on yours so that I can see all you. That's perfect, okay? Now, I'm just gonna make an adjustment here to the Facebook Live. I think that works, okay, looks better. Good, we have all of our friends. All right, good morning. I decided to stay at home today. Actually, I'm gonna move this just to here maybe, so it's a little bit easier to, trying to find the right way to run Facebook Live and Zoom at the same time, and I think I just figured it out. So I'm staying at home this morning. I felt a little rush to get to the studio, so I thought, why am I rushing? Why do I need to rush to the studio? I have a perfect studio right behind me. So I'll just be here with you, and then I can enjoy my sunshine and my coffee and relax and not feel rushed. So it looks like we have a full house today. We've got 6 folks watching us live on Facebook, so that's fantastic. And we've got 5 folks watching with us through Zoom. And I'm excited because it means that we're heading back to the studio soon. I can feel the energy of folks saying, yeah, let's do this. So the question that came up this morning was, will we still offer an online option for those of you that want to stay at home? And I want to let you know that the morning sessions will be on Zoom and live from the studio once we open towards the end of June. And it'll be a limited schedule. And of course, we're working on that currently. We're checking in with the teachers, we're checking in with the clients to see, you know, what's going to be best suited. The times might shift a little bit so that you have a little more space in the morning. And so we might start a little earlier, that's what I'm saying. And then of course, folks will come to the studio and we'll have a limited class size. So the evening sessions will be only on Zoom. The summer sessions in the evening tend to not be very well attended, so there's no sense in everyone rushing, and maybe we'll have a few more folks practicing outside in their garden in the evening or something like that. So we're just gonna have a soft reopening. And it was brought to my attention by a beloved, my dear beloved Buddha, and he said, you know, really, you have never been closed, that you've always been open. And I sat with that, and logistically, it's true. More importantly, what he's pointing to is that we remain open. We remain open to what is without wanting it to be a particular way. And even as we begin to shift our intention back into the yoga studio, of course, there's unknown and uncertainty. So we've decided to postpone until towards the end of the month, June 21st, just to see what unfolds. And in the meantime, we're still here with you, and all of the teachers volunteering their time and energy to be present with our community and with ourselves. So we're grateful for your presence this morning. And without further ado, we'll just close our eyes and we'll take a few moments and just sit together. And as we're sitting together, just sensing and feeling into what it is like to be in your body this morning. And particularly see if you can draw some attention to your spine. Noticing how your spine feels. Notice as you breathe, can you draw the breath from the base of the spine upwards along the Sushumna to the base of the skull and then onwards to the spot between the eyebrows. Exhaling down the front of the body, all the way to the pubic bone. Like you're filling a bucket from the base of the spine all the way up to the base of the skull and then to the spot between the eyebrows or the core of the brain. And then all the way back down to the pubic bone again. And drawing the breath up, feel it rise up, base of the skull, third eye center. And then all the way back down again. Slow, steady stream of breath. And see if you can begin to sense and feel, maybe it's fluid or heat, some other sensation that's moving up the base of the spine, through the back body, to the base of the skull, and now to the third eye. And then back down the front of the body like a waterfall. Like a liquid heat moving up the back of the body, filling up the spine to the crown gate, third eye, and back down. And just feel yourself being drawn deeper and deeper within. Keeping your attention attuned to the spine, to the Sushumna. And the next time you feel the inhalation, just begin to move in a very slow circle. Allowing your breath to circle the torso. As you stay connected to the ebb and the flow of the breath. Moving consciously, complete undivided attention. And then if you find there's a particular area that feels a little tender or tight, just let yourself kind of stop on that hot spot. You can move a little bit back and forth over it. And you might even find that in this subtle torso rotation that maybe there's a twist arising. As you feel the opening through the thoracic spine. Maybe twisting to the other side. And if you're absorbed in meditation, stay there, it's perfect. It's all meditation. And then gradually allow yourself to fold all the way forward towards the floor in Sukhasana. And an easy forward bend. Almost as if the floor is coming to meet you. And feel the transition as you fold into the forward bend. Maybe walking the hands to the right side or to the left side. Still attuned to those subtle sensations in the back body. And then slowly begin to find your way back upright. And breathe the arms all the way up, moving slowly as if they're moving through molasses. And bring the hands back down through the center line of the body. Breathing the arms up again, inhaling, drawing the energy from the base of the spine all the way up to the base of the skull and then the third eye center. And then back down through the front body. And again. And then slowly bringing it all the way back down. We'll bring the right hand to the side of the floor and we'll breathe the left hand up. A little bit of a side bend, lateral flexion. Pressing down through the left sits bones, extending through the fingertips of the left arm. And then just see if you can open up the rib cage and the shoulder a little bit, turning towards the left hand. Feeling a little bit of contraction right between the shoulder blades. And then bringing that back. Slowly lowering that left arm, extending the right arm up. Starting with the lateral flexion, pressing through the right sits bones, extending through the fingertips. And then allowing that right shoulder, right rib cage to open. A subtle rotation, taking the gaze towards the fingertips. And then slowly bringing yourself back down. Interlace the fingers and extend the hands away around the shoulders. Bring the chin to the chest. Like a seated cat pose. And then inhale, sweep the arms around behind the back. Interlace them, Yoga Mudra. And draw the shoulder blades together. Feel the spreading of the collarbone and opening through the center of the chest. And draw the gaze upwards to the spot between the eyebrows and merge here into oneness. And then slowly releasing the hands and just begin to transition yourself to table. Paying attention moment by moment, movement by movement. And as you find your way into table, we're going to continue to bring our attention to the 6 movements of the spine, flexion and extension. Lateral flexion right side, lateral flexion left side. Rotation to the right side, rotation to the left side. So all of these 6 movements are nourishing the spinal column, balancing the nervous system right, left, parasympathetic, sympathetic, as well as acting like a pump. So that energy is moving up the spine, nourishing the entire system all the way up to the base of the skull, and eventually finishing here at the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and 2 to 3 inches into the center of the skull, the core of the brain. So when you bring your attention to the spinal column, you're nourishing not only the nervous system and all of the organs, all of the tissues, but also the brain, and bringing balance and harmony. So as you move between cat and upward cat, pay close attention to where you feel areas of tenderness or holding in the body. Noticing for yourself. As you move slowly, what feels tight, what feels kind of stuck. And allow each movement, flexion and extension, to breathe new life and energy into the body, into the back body. Coming back into neutral, we're going to look over the right shoulder to the right hip, and maybe even walk your hands around to the right side, looking over the right hip, lengthening the whole left side. You can even lean the hips to the left a little bit to accentuate that opening on the left side as you contract the right side. And walking the hands around towards the left side now. Same thing, contracting the left side. And drawing the left shoulder and the left hip together. And accentuating that opening through the right side. Going at your own pace, back and forth now, sensing and feeling into that lateral flexion. Full, complete breath. A couple more times on each side. Eventually coming back into center. And we're going to move into a slight adaptation of table twist. So I'm going to invite you to stretch your right leg out to the side, toes pointing to the front edge of the mat. And then bring your left hand underneath your throat and extend your right arm up. This allows you to be in the rotation and have a little extra support. Taking the gaze towards the right hand, you can feel that rotation all the way through the back body. And we'll bring that right hand down, switch, extend the left leg out to the side, toes pointing towards the front edge of the mat. Lift and extend the left arm up. Beautiful. And back into center. Let's move that one more time on each side, because anytime you move 2 to 4 times into a position, it actually helps to lubricate the body. So here we're lubricating the spine, the hips, the shoulders. And this time as you move into the table twist, maybe you just keep your knee on the floor and bring your right hand onto your back. And then again, switching to the other side. Good, and then folding all the way back into child's pose. Parting the knees, lots of room, fingertips towards the front edge of the mat. Forehead towards the floor, resting the third eye right on the floor. If for some reason your forehead doesn't make it all the way, just add a little blanket, a block, or something underneath your forehead. Interlace the fingers and extend out through the index finger like you're shooting an arrow. And see if you can lift the elbows off the floor towards the ears. Releasing that, we're going to come onto the forearms for cat bow. Scooping into upward cat, hands on the floor, extending through the spine. Good. Okay, rounding the back into cat. And then folding all the way back into child's pose. Cat bow, upward cat, cat, and child's pose. Two more of the series, cat bow, upward cat, cat, and child's pose. Notice the pumping action of the spine here. Again, you might notice some heat, sensation. And the next time you find your way into upward cat, we're going to transition to downward facing dog. So you'll tuck the toes under, press back into downward facing dog. And because this is probably your first downward dog of the day, just go ahead and take some time here, pressing through one heel then the other, kind of exploring as you press to the palms, pressing, extending through the shoulders, give your head a little nod, maybe shifting the hips back and forth a little bit. You know exactly what your body is calling for, so listen to that wisdom and follow it implicitly without question. Maybe crossing the legs one behind the other. And then eventually finding your way back into cat and all the way back into child's pose. And we'll continue with those 5 positions now. Cat bow, upward cat, downward dog, cat, child's pose. And see if you can sense and feel this as a pumping action for the spine as you move from child's pose to cat bow to upward cat, to downward dog, to cat, and back into child's pose. The body and the breath moving together in perfect harmony. And then the next time again you find yourself in downward facing dog, we'll stop here. And we'll lift the right leg and look towards the hands. Exhale. Lower that right leg. Lift the left leg. Look towards the hands. Exhale. Kind of nice long strides, alternating side to side. Just continue that for a few more rounds. The intention is that you're opening up the back body, opening up the legs, paying close attention to not letting momentum be what's guiding you, but breath and body moving together. Good. And then go ahead and bring yourself into a standing forward bend. Hanging in that forward bend. And just letting your head go and your body release. Shift the weight slightly forward, maybe hold on to your elbows. And then releasing, pressing to the feet, rolling up the spine. Breathing the arms all the way up overhead. Interlacing the fingers, walk the feet together. Press the hips forward, lift and extend through the sternum, moving into Anavattasana, standing back bend. Feel that nice long body opening, opening, opening. That's a great mantra, opening. Beautiful. And then bringing the hands back down. Letting the arms rest, close the eyes, and just take a moment to rest here in the second half of the pose. Feel the ebb and the flow of the breath. Okay, sweeping the arms all the way up again. We're going to interlace the fingers one more time. Press the hips forward, lift and extend through the sternum. Again, Anavattasana, a nice standing back bend. Gaze is across the ceiling to the edge of the wall and the ceiling where they meet. You can feel the extension through the sternum and the extension through the fingertips. Beautiful. Coming back into that neutral position, press to the left foot. Moving from that extension now to lateral flexion, half moon. Beautiful. Inhale, press down through both feet, switching to the other side, pressing to the right foot, extending to the left. And inhale back to center. We're going to swan dive, arms out to the side, folding all the way down towards the floor. Forehead towards the shin. Inhale, extending into a diver's pose. You can bring the hands onto the shins if you'd like, or keep them on the floor. Even wrapped around the toes is fine. Releasing on the exhalation. We're going to step the right foot back, starting with a runner's lunge. The left knee is directly over the left ankle. We're going to press back through that right foot. Come to a steady position here. Good. And then go ahead and bring that right knee all the way to the floor. If you need something underneath it like a blanket, take a moment and prop yourself up. And then if it's available, you can bring your hands onto your thigh. You can rest here with the hips moving forward in that lunge. And if there's space, you can interlace the fingers and move fully into crescent lunge, crescent moon. Pressing through the hips, extending sternum fingertips. Good. Full, complete breath. Beautiful. We'll bring the hands back down through center. We're going to bring the right hand to the inside of the left foot. You can keep the right knee on the floor if you want, or extend it, whatever feels natural for you. Okay. The left hand can go onto the back body, onto the sacrum, having that tactile touch at the base of the spine, or you can extend the arm up to the ceiling. If you do that, make sure your left knee doesn't track open, that it stays connected to the left ankle. Beautiful. And then we'll bring that left hand down. We're going to step back, plank position. Pressing through feet, extending through crown. And then folding knees to the floor, all the way back into child's pose. Nice flexion here for the spine. Forehead to the floor. Emptying the lungs fully. On your next inhalation, kind of lifting the body up and then scooping towards the thumbs. Upward facing dog. Micro-bending the elbow. And then folding back, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg towards the ceiling. We're going to step it to the top of the mat. Starting with that runner's lunge. A nice steady position here. And then when you're ready, you can bring that left knee to the floor. Supporting yourself as you need to. You can bring your hands onto the thigh. And if it's available, breathing the arms overhead, interlace the fingers. Opening. The mantra of opening. Beautiful. And then bringing the hands back down, moving into that revolved lunge. Again, you can lift the leg if that feels supportive. Right hand onto the back body or overhead. And then slowly finding your way out, stepping your left foot to meet your right. Hanging forward bend. Let's wrap the forearms around behind the calves. Belly to the thigh. Again, give the head a little nod and a little shake. Releasing the palms, pressing down. Inhale, swan dive, arms up. Interlace the fingers, feet are touching. Anavattasana, standing back bend, press the hips forward, extend through the fingertips. Beautiful, and coming back into neutral, half moon to the right. Pressing down through both feet, half moon to the left. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. Go ahead and release the arms down. This time bring them behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Standing yoga mudra. If it feels natural, you can part the feet and fold forward. Letting the arms kind of rise up towards the ceiling. Giving your head a little nod and a shake again. Enjoying the opening through the back body. The knees can be soft here. You can shift the weight from right to left. You're free to play here and explore allowing the wisdom of the body to guide you. And as you're ready, allow yourself to find your way back upright. Allow the hands to part. Feel yourself soaking here in the second half of the postures. Alive and awake, open and steady. Feel the rush of sensation. And drawing your attention upwards to the spot between the eyebrows, and feel that kind of liquid warmth begin to merge with the third eye center. Energy finding her way home, merging into oneness. And then gradually, let's open the gaze. We're going to add in a little bit of a breathing practice here. It's the 4-part coordinated breath. Some of you may not know it, so I'll just kind of guide you through it. It's a 3-part inhalation, so it's 1/3 here directly in front, 1/3 open, and then the last third all the way up. An exhalation, letting the arms come down behind, kind of like in a skiing or a chair pose, and then inhale back to here. Okay, so we'll do it all together. Follow my rhythm. Inhale, up, out, and up. Up, out, up. That's it. Up, out, up. Up, out, up. Now it's like a pumping action when you come back up. You're kind of scooping up. Keep the knees soft. That's it. 3-part inhalation. Exhale. Two more times. Last one. Hanging forward bend. Just letting it go. Shift the weight slightly forward in the balls of the feet. Allow yourself to fold forward. Soften the knees as needed. Shift the weight forward on the balls of the feet. Release the hips. Give the head a little nod and a shake. Shoulders. And then as you're ready, begin to rise up, going slow. Feeling that, again, rush of sensation filling you fully, like a water container or filling a bucket. Feel that lifting all the way up through the Sushumna to the crown gate. Maybe resting at the third eye center. Feel the blanket of stillness. And gradually open the gaze. Okay. We'll move into one more round. Inhale, up, out, and up. Up, out, up. Last two. Last one. We're going to find our way into that hanging forward bend and then step your legs back into downward facing dog. Coming back to that extension of lifting the right leg, looking to the hands, and lowering the leg, okay? Similar breath. Opposite legs. Good. Beautiful. We're going to step lunge. We're going to come to a steady position. Good. Okay. Now see if you can extend that left leg, let's see, the left arm back and the right arm forward. That's it. Beautiful. Nice and steady and strong. Wonderful. Now bring the hands together, and if it's available you can bring that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. So you're twisting towards the bent knee. Wonderful. Now go ahead and bring your hands to the floor. Position your right foot so that it's kind of perpendicular to your left. Extend the right arm again and windmill yourself all the way up, warrior two. You got it. Wonderful. Okay. Taking the gaze over the left hand, we're going to scoop the left hand as if you're lifting water up or a candle, and bring the right hand down towards the side body, moving into a bit of a lateral flexion, opening through the rib cage, contracting through the right side, exalted warrior. Beautiful. Coming back through warrior two. Lateral flexion here again. Left side this time. Left forearm onto the left thigh. Right arm is going to extend towards the ceiling, and if there's space, alongside the ear. Again, pressing through that right heel. Firming through the whole right leg. Beautiful. Pressing through the feet, inhale back into warrior two. Okay. Now go ahead and straighten that left leg. Bring your hand onto the crux of your left hip, and we're just going to tilt to the left side to Trikonasana. Once you have that full extension, you can extend the left arm down. Take the gaze towards the ceiling, adding a little bit of a twist here through the spine, just a touch. Firm and steady through the legs, opening through the groin, engaging the abdominal area, opening through the chest and heart. Shoulder girdle back is strong. Rotation through the neck, fingertips is where the gaze is. Beautiful. Pressing through the feet, lift yourself back. We're going to fold back towards the mat. See if you can find your way to downward facing dog once again. Into plank. Child's pose. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift the right leg towards the ceiling, step it to the top of the mat. Runner's lunge, again coming to a nice steady position. Lift yourself up just a touch. If you can take your right arm back, your left arm forward. A little bit of core strength here. Good. And then bring the palms together, moving into the rotation where the left elbow goes to the outside of the right knee now. Palms in prayer. Beautiful. Relax. Be at ease. And then bringing the hands to the floor, go ahead and position the left foot In preparation for Warrior Two, we're going to extend the left arm and windmill into Warrior Two, right side. Beautiful. Gaze is over the right hand. And drop the tailbone and draw the navel to the back body. We'll scoop the right hand, pouring water over the head, extending the right hand up into Exalted Warrior. Gaze towards the sun, towards the heavens. Slowly sweeping, finding your way back towards Warrior Angle. Sinking the hips. Opening the fingertips. That's it. And if it's available, alongside the left ear. A little bit of a lateral flexion. Good. Pressing to the feet, inhale yourself back into Warrior Two. Nice foundation in this position. Nice steady pose. Go ahead and straighten the right leg and bring the right hand into the crux of that right hip. Tip over that right hand. The left arm will extend up. When you've gone to your full extension, just release the right hand towards the shin. Navel to the back body. Pressing to the feet. Good. Gaze towards the left hand if it's available. Fingers together. Harnessing that life force energy. Beautiful. Pressing to the feet, lift up. 5-pointed star once again. Hands can come towards the hips this time, both of them. We're going to fold over. Wide leg stretch. Then allow the hands to slide down the legs to the edge of the ankles with your feet, elbows apart, forehead through the legs, extending through the crown. Here's another place where you get to play a little bit. Allowing yourself to shift the weight forward to the balls of the feet. Maybe rocking from one side, then the other. Bending a knee if that feels natural. Scanning the entire field of sensation in the body and notice where you're being drawn to, where you're being called to. And follow that implicitly without question. Full, complete breath. Any variations that arise, follow it implicitly. Until you feel yourself naturally moving towards a squat. And if you're absorbed, you're free to catch up with us whenever you're ready. You may have open hips or the knees may be drawn together, whatever feels natural. You may want to roll out one hip at a time, looking at the inside of the feet. I know I used to take that for granted, and now that is challenging for me. It's amazing how when we move away from something, our body changes so rapidly. But what's beautiful about that as well is that as soon as we remember, we come back, there's a groove or a pathway that remembers and goes, ah. So you can always return. You can always come home. Now here you're on your own. If you feel drawn to move towards teddy bear pose where you're balancing on the head and the hands, you're free to do that. If you want to move towards crow, you're free to do that. I'm just listening to what feels natural for you right now. Some of you may even have peacock in your practice, and you're free to move in that direction. Or simply being in the squat might be just enough for you this morning. Subtly attuning to those areas of tenderness or holding and investigating right at the edge. And then gradually finding your way onto your abdomen in preparation for cobra. Your hands will be directly underneath your shoulders, palms down. Your legs are extended back, the toes kind of tuck them under and lengthen the legs back, and then rest the toes right on the floor, kind of pressing into the toes. Firm through the inner thighs and buttocks, and then press through the pelvis. And the heels are going to fall apart a little bit. So if these were your toes, your heels are just slightly apart, the toes moving towards one another. Then as you firm through the buttocks and inner thighs, you'll press through the pelvis, you'll press through the palms, and extend through the sternum, brushing the forehead, the nose, and the chin off the floor, and lift yourself into maybe first a baby cobra, just to get a feeling for that back body. And then you're free to come back down, reset. And then again, pressing through the palms, the pelvis, the toes, and extending out through the sternum, out through the crown of the head, elbows gathered right towards the rib cage. See if you can lift yourself up just a touch more now that you've lubricated the spine and nourished it with synovial fluid. Feel the tingling and the heat, the vibratory impact of the movement on the spinal column, the sushumna. And the balancing of the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. The gaze naturally being drawn upwards to the spot between the eyebrows where the merging occurs. Soaking in the ocean of consciousness, here at the third eye center. As you're ready, finding your way back down to the floor again. Resting the chin on the floor, the arms out to the side, palms down, forearms down. We're going to move towards dragonfly. So many of you know dragonfly, but just in case you don't, I am going to demonstrate it. And hopefully you can see me. My hands are out to the side, my chin is on the floor. I'm going to bend the right knee and I'm going to lift the left leg onto the sole of my right foot. Depending on the back body, having this position is just enough. You don't need to go any further. Some of you have the steadiness, and without struggle or strain, you can lift the chin and the arms off the floor. Stay as long as you'd like, as long as you're resting in awareness. And as you're ready to release, we'll switch, bend the left leg, lift the right leg. Beautiful. And again, listening to when your body feels complete, bringing yourself down, rocking the hips from side to side. Maybe turn the head to one side. You can window wash the legs. Massaging the inner organs, the digestive system. And the kidneys by simply having the legs go back and forth. As you feel ready and called, you can lift yourself up through table position back into child's pose. A nice release in the flexion for the back body. And here you may be called to just slide the right arm underneath the left in a very subtle thread the needle. Or the left arm underneath the right. And then as you feel ready, finding your way towards a position on your back. And as you transition, if there's any complementary movement, just follow that implicitly without question, giving yourself permission to listen to what is happening now. Once you're on your back, you may be naturally drawn to bring the knees towards the chest, rocking from right to left. Maybe even drawn in towards a spinal twist. You may find yourself moving towards bridge pose as you press down through the feet, lifting the hips, the sternum off the floor, the arms alongside the body, maybe even interlacing the fingertips. Again, moving through the poses of flexion, extension, rotation. After the bridge, you may be drawn to move towards fish pose by pressing into the forearms, lifting and extending the sternum. Legs are straight. And allow the crown of the head to find its way towards the floor behind you. Again, I'll demonstrate that one. You're pressing through the palms and the forearms. The shoulder blades move together. The feet are extended out through the legs. Some of you may have shoulder stand in your practice, or you may feel complete and ready simply to rest. As you begin to find your way towards a comfortable position, lying on your back. Notice if there's any leftovers. Maybe give your hips a little wiggle or your back a little shift. And trust that whatever has been released is bringing balance and harmony to you. And just let yourself go. Let it all go. And feel yourself dropping and sinking into the earth. And the weight of your body being drawn down even deeper. All the layers of what you're holding on to falling away, dissolving in the light of consciousness. Feel yourself opening. To the endless possibilities of the moment. And then as you're ready, allow yourself to begin to rise to the surface of awareness. Feel the fingers and toes, arms and legs. And stretch and move in any way that feels perfect. And draw the knees to the chest, roll over onto the right side. And feel yourself held here in the womb of existence. The arms of the mother wrapped around you, holding you. And gradually begin to sit up with your eyes closed and allow a portion of yourself to remain anchored in this deep experience as you bring a portion of yourself back into the room. Allow the hands to find their way to the Hakini Mudra where the fingertips are touching, kind of in a triangle. And notice the one-pointedness at the third eye center. Harmonizing, balancing. Integrative. Let's chant the sound of Om together. Let's take a deep breath in. And allow your hands to find their way to where the vibration was. And maybe still is. And honor that vibration, the vibration of the intelligent life force. Continue to attune to it as you bring attention to your spine, the Sushumna, the main channel, the main energy channel throughout your day. With your attention on focus, balance, harmonizing, and integration. Allow the healing to happen naturally, the restoration to happen naturally. Have a beautiful day. Jai Bhagwan. Many blessings. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for joining us. We have Claude's let's see, is that a grandnephew, granddaughter? I can't quite see. Grandnephew.
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter, sorry. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
You too. Lovely to see everyone. Okay. Always open.